गणनान्त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनां मुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान शृण्वन्नोतिभिस्सेदसादनं प्रणो देवे सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनेवते दीनामवित्रयवतो गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम ओम शांति शांति शांतिः ओम साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् ओम शांति शांति शांतिः Sai Ram Lin.
Sai Ram Sharma, thank you, Bhagwan. We lay this divine offering at thy lotus feet because we are going to be talking about cooking with Bhagwan. So Sharma and I are now going to serve up some delicious morsels for you to all enjoy and digest. Digestion is very important. We all know that Swami loved to cook, and even as a boy he was famous for his rasam, a peppery soup which he would make in large quantities and serve to everyone in Parthi village as a cure for cough and cold. The queue apparently was very long because Swami's rasam was so famous. And we know that he enjoyed simple foods like ragi bowl. In fact, when I was at Esharama Trust, the senior trustee would sometimes have ragi bowl sent in for us to have with our lunch, and we were able to taste this very simple, plain food that Swami relished. In fact, I have some wonderful stories of Swami materializing food, which I am going to share with you all. Of course, during interview was a wonderful time when Swami would materialize many kinds of both hot food and things like fruits or dates, depending on the situation of the person he was speaking to. Of course, the first divine food that Swami will always give is vibhuti or amrit. We've heard several already stories of him producing this. And in one interview with Mata Betty's group, there was a group of Maori people. Now, Maori people are the indigenous race of New Zealand, and this particular group had practiced vegetarianism for some time before Mata Betty allowed them to come with her. Swami was extremely, extremely proud of this group because the Maori people love their meat. They love eating fish, they love pork, beef, all kinds of meat is a staple part of their diet, and so it was doubly hard for them to give up meat. Several of the group said that when they were trying to give up meat, every time back in New Zealand when they tried to eat it, the smell of jasmine would overcome them, and they no longer desired the meat, and they reverted to a vegetarian diet. They found this very difficult. One lady said she could only think of cooking frozen peas and carrots to serve her husband. She could not think of a meal without meat, but somehow or another they managed. And Swami was so happy with this group of Maori people. He said to them lovingly, "My Maori people." And he began to produce hot food for each one of the group, and something different. One person got spiced rice, spiced with Indian spices like cumin and cardamom. Another person got sweet rice. Another person got a ball of rice that was sweetened with ghee, milk, and she thought honey. And every person got something different. Swami, one after another, began producing a little hot snack for each member of the group. And they all burst into tears when they were eating it. Mata Betty said that they said that they were all going, and Swami was going, eat, and they were saying, "Oh, Swami, Om Sai Ram." And they said, when Swami was telling them, eat, eat, it was the sound a loving mother makes when her child is eating something so good and so delicious. He materialized laddu for them, and he said, straight from the factory. It was warm, and he must have been enjoying all of our awestruck expressions. It was mind-boggling. Eat it, he said, and he made all of them eat it. Then he materialized medallions and Krista Japamalas for the ladies. They cried even more. Maori people are very, very sensitive people. I remember a wonderful story that a devotee from America told me. He was staying with his wife in Kodai Canal with another group of devotees. Swami was there, and this group were staying in a hotel not very close to where Swami stays in Kodai. They would all have breakfast in the hotel, and Swami himself would come in every morning to make sure everyone had had a good breakfast. One morning, Swami came in, and this particular gentleman devotee had had eggs for his breakfast. Many Americans like eggs for breakfast. Swami came to him and said, "What did you have for breakfast?" And the devotee said, "Eggs, Swami." Swami said, "No eggs in my house," and moved on. The devotee he felt very bad. Maybe Swami meant he shouldn't be eating eggs anymore. And so he stopped having eggs for his breakfast. Then he got very, very sick, and he could not even come for darshan or come down for breakfast. For 10 days, he suffered from illness, and on the 11th day, he had just enough strength to struggle down to the dining hall. Swami came over to him and asked him where had he been, and the devotee said, "Swami, I have been very, very sick. I'm sorry, Swami, I could not come. What to do? I'm not really getting better. What should I do?" And Swami said, "Eggs, eat eggs." We cannot understand the ways of the divine, but this devotee began eating eggs again, and he got well. Mysterious story indeed. Now, Swami recommends certain foods. He recommends coconut kernel, coconut water, sprouting pulses such as lentils, mung beans, bean sprouts, uncooked or half-cooked vegetables and grains. Swami said these are good for health. Swami himself relished pomegranate juice and buttermilk, and we all know that he ate very, very sparingly, perhaps just a few bites, no matter how much was put on his plate. He really didn't need food, and he ate only to satisfy and please his devotees. Dr. Pavan told me that once the doctors' wives at the super hospital wanted to give Swami a special meal, and all the ladies cooked their most favorite dishes. And of course, this was quite a few ladies, and there were quite a few dishes, and every lady was hoping Swami would taste their food. Dr. Pavan said that someone had found a large painting of Lord Vishnu that had been commissioned but never used for the hospital, and this large painting was put up behind Swami's chair, and there was seated Swami beneath this huge painting of Lord Vishnu. It was quite a striking kind of comparison with this huge painting. It must have been 7 or 8 feet tall, and the tiny little Swami sitting there at the bottom. And as each lady came up with their dishes, Swami consented to eat something, and he ate for 40 minutes. And this was quietly recorded by Dr. Pavan on a private video, which will not probably be seen by the public because Sarah said people wouldn't understand. Swami was eating to please the ladies, not to feed himself. He doesn't need food, but he demonstrated that this idea that we had that Swami only eats a little bit was not at all the case in this situation. Swami will do anything to make his devotees happy. Swami also relished the food made by Keiki Mystery's sister, Shirin. Shirin told me that she would make pinwheels. These were strips of capsicum and she would make a spicy rice and roll it up in these strips of deep-fried capsicum. She would also make samosas that Swami relished, and she would also offer him sweets in Whitefield in the darshan line. And Swami would eat everything, even the sweets. And this caused quite a bit of upset amongst the ladies. They were saying, Swami never eats sweets. Why is he eating this lady's sweets? Again, Swami will eat to please the devotee. And you can never say Swami will not do this, Swami doesn't do that. He is a divine being. He can do whatever he likes. And we cannot arbitrate what he can and can't eat or what he will and will not do. Several devotees have told me that when they eat takeaway food that has not obviously been blessed or had food prayer done over it, they will get nightmares or bad dreams. And that is why it is very important to always say the food prayer over your food. Of course, we always say the Brahmapanam when we are eating our food, and Swami explained that when we are cooking our food, we should also chant Gayatri mantra and food prayer. Because when you are cooking over heat, your thoughts convert into the food. So if you are having a bad thought, some hateful thought, some jealous thought, some unhappy thought, that energy, that negative energy will go into the food and affect the person who is eating it, that you are serving it to. Therefore, always chant when you are cooking, when you are preparing food, and when you are serving, always do food prayer. There is a line in the food prayer which, of course, speaks of Brahma, Brahmapanam, Brahmahavir, Brahmagano, Brahmanahutam, Brahmevatena Gantavyam, Brahmakarma Samadhinaha, Aham Veshvanaro Bhutvaham, Praninam Deham Ashritaha, Pranapana Samayuktaha, Pachamiyanam Shaturvidam, Om. Now, you will hear in that prayer several references to Brahma. Why is that? Because Brahma lives within us in the digestive process. And in Veda Pushpanjali, this is the Vedam that was chanted in the mandir before Rudram, there is a line which expresses that the food that you eat is enjoyed by the Brahma within you. He enjoys the food presented before him and converts it into a subtle essence which is distributed within the body through rays which extend both vertically and horizontally from the insole to the crown. So by chanting over our food, offering it to God, it becomes prasadam, and the Brahma, the creator within us, enjoys it as such. Don't forget that Swami has explained that a divine being lives within our spiritual heart. He is Parabrahma and Paramatman, and though he is thus contained as a very small atomic size flame, still he is the all-knowing and self-luminous efficient cause of the universe. And this is explained in the Veda Pushpanjali, a small book which is available in the Prashanti Nilayam bookstore and also at the Satyasai Book Center in New Zealand. It's just a small book. It is blue color with a picture of Swami on the front with rays coming out from him. Just as the rays that are generated by prasadam within us travel throughout our body and give us our energy. Without food, we can't live. Without water, we can't live. When Swami feeds us, whether it is in interview or with materialized prasadams, such as which will happen, we have here in New Zealand a beautiful devotee who lovingly bakes a cake for Swami whenever a bhajan is held. She offers the cake at the altar, and this is 2023, mind you. The cake immediately becomes covered with several kinds of vibhuti, turmeric or haldi, and divine amrit starts to spout from the top of the cake and starts to run down the side of the cake. I have provided some photographs of this. I have seen it happen. This lady is she makes cakes. She's not a professional cake maker, but she certainly makes the cakes with a lot of love and decorates them very, very beautifully. And Swami must love them so much. He is always sprinkling them with his divine foods. And of course, having these foods give us great joy. I have to say that when I saw the cake with the amrit coming out, I had the thought, oh, I hope I get a slice with the amrit coming out. But fortunately, the lady of the house scooped up all the amrit into a separate cup and fed us all amrit, so no one went without. See how my greedy mind still works. It wanted a slice that had all the amrit coming out. But at least I am longing for divine food, and perhaps this is something I can suggest to us all, that all food should be divine that we eat, and that we think of him with every bite. Swami often said, when you are eating food, think of all the work that went into providing that food, the seed that sprouted, the farmer who grew the food and lovingly tended it and watered it, harvested it, carried it to the market. The market processes the food and sells it. So much work goes into it. And I do remember Swami saying, every grain of rice, when you see a grain of rice, do not waste it. Think of all the work that went into creating and growing that grain of rice before it comes to you. The more you are filled with bliss, the more your mind is with God. And when you hear of bliss being experienced by eating divine food, by getting or having Swami's vibhuti, when you have food that has been blessed or cooked for you with love, always think to yourself, Swami is feeding me like mother. I am his child, and he is always providing everything I need. As I said, the more you are filled with bliss, the more your mind is with God. Food nourishes the body, but bliss nourishes the soul. Proximity to the world can give pleasure, but never peace. But proximity to the divine gives pleasure, peace, and bliss. I hope you have enjoyed this little talk on food. If you love food as much as this body does, perhaps you will think more of the divine nature of food and enjoy every bite and every drop. Om Shri Sai Ram.
Om Sai Ram Lin. Om Sai Ram.